Assalamu alaikum. I'm Munazza Kareem from Divisional Public School, Model Town, Lahore. I've brought another tutorial on direct and indirect speech, in which we will learn how to convert interrogative sentences into indirect speech. In our previous session, we learned how to convert assertive sentences into indirect speech. We learned the following steps. For instance, removal of inverted comma, capital letter of the first word of the reported speech was changed accordingly. We learned the use of that to join the reporting and reported speeches. We also learned how to change pronoun of the reported speech. We also learned how to change the tense when it is required. And we also learned how to make other changes in the reported speech. In this session, we will learn what is an interrogative sentence. We will also learn to differentiate between the two types of interrogative sentences. And in the end, we will practice the conversion of the two types of interrogative sentences and discuss the steps involved in conversion. In the current session, we will learn to convert interrogative sentences into indirect speech. What are interrogative sentences? Interrogative sentences are also called questions. When a question is asked, it is called an interrogative sentence. Whenever we change a direct speech into indirect speech, we should be very clear that what kind of sentence we are dealing with. In our previous session, we learned to convert the assertive sentences. In this session, we will learn how to convert questions or interrogative sentences into indirect speech. Let's see what an interrogative sentence looks like. Look at the sentence. It has two parts, reporting speech and reported speech, because it's a direct speech. But the reported speech here starts with a helping verb instead of a subject. You can also see that there is a question mark in the end. Instead of a full stop, there is a question mark. So, an interrogative sentence or a question should have a question mark in the end, or it can have a helping verb in the beginning. What is an helping verb? Helping verbs are is, am, are, was, were, will, shall, has, have, do, did, etc. Look at the second sentence. It also has a question mark. See, it has a question mark. It has reporting speech. It has reported speech. It has a question mark. And it has a question word. Instead of a helping verb, there is a question word, which is also called a relative pronoun. We, for simplicity, call them WH words. WH words because most of these words start with WH, for instance, what, when, where, whether, etc., which, etc. So we call them question word. So whenever you have these two types of sentences for conversion and they have question mark in the end, it means that you are dealing with interrogative sentences. In this session, we will learn how to convert these interrogative sentences into indirect speech. Look at the sentence. This is a question, or it is an interrogative sentence. The reported speech starts with a helping verb. There is a question mark. Let's convert this interrogative sentence into an indirect speech. She asked if she had known the truth. Look at the changes that have been made. Said is replaced with asked. We use if to join the two speeches. We change the tense. There was past indefinite. We changed it into past perfect. And we removed the inverted comma or we replaced it with a question mark. Look at the structure of the direct speech. There was helping verb before the subject. So, in an interrogative sentence, helping verb comes before the subject. On the other hand, in an indirect sentence, helping verb or verb come after the subject. So, this is the structure of a positive sentence. Whenever we convert an interrogative sentence into indirect speech, we have to keep the structure of a positive sentence. That's why we won't use any question mark here. Look at another example. My mother said, will you listen to me? The question starts with a helping verb will. There is the question mark. Let's convert it into indirect speech. My mother asked if I would listen to her. We replaced said with asked. We joined the reporting and reported speech using if. We converted will into would and me into her, you into I. Change of pronoun has been made, change of tense has been made, and we replaced said with asked and we joined the two speeches using if. So these were the interrogative sentences with helping verbs. So whenever the interrogative sentence with helping verb like did, will, shall, has, have, etc., we will join the two speeches using if or whether. I will explain the difference between if and whether in the end of this tutorial. Let's look at the sentence. He said to me, what is your name? There is reporting speech, this is reported speech, there is a question mark and there is a question word or a WH word. So this is another type of an interrogative sentence that starts with a WH word. Let's see how to change this type of interrogative sentence into indirect speech. He asked me what my name was. So we replaced said with asked. We retained what. We use what to join the reporting and reporting speech instead of that or if or whether. We change the pronoun your into my, and we change the tense is into was. We did not use any question mark because when we convert an interrogative sentence into indirect speech, we make it a positive sentence. So we have to follow the structure of a positive or affirmative sentence. So there will be no question mark. Look at another example. My teacher said, "How did you fare in the examination?" Sentence starts with a WH word, HOW. It does not start with a WH word, but we consider it in the category of the question words or the WH words. Let's convert it into indirect speech. My teacher asked how I had fared in the examination. Said is replaced into asked. How will remain there as a joining word between it's a joining word between reporting and reported speech. So instead of if or that, we will use how. We have changed the tense. Did is past indefinite tense. We have changed into past perfect tense. And there is no question mark that my teacher asked how I had fared. How I had fared, we use the structure of a positive sentence. Here, I has been used before the verb, and in the direct speech, there was helping verb before the subject. So we have to change the structure of an interrogative sentence into a positive sentence when we convert it into indirect speech. Let's recap what we have understood or what we have learned. How to convert interrogative sentences into indirect speech. How many steps are involved when we convert an interrogative sentence into indirect speech? For the sake of simplicity, you should remember the previous steps that we used to follow while converting assertive sentences. Let's have a look at them. We used to remove inverted commas, we used to change the capital letter accordingly, we used to use that. But here, when we are converting interrogative sentences, that we won't use that. We will change the pronoun, we will change the tense, and other changes will also be made. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps will remain the same. The 5 steps that were involved in the conversion of an assertive sentence will also be used while converting an interrogative sentence. Let's see how many more steps are involved in conversion. Removal of question mark. We have just learned that we remove the question mark when we convert it into indirect speech. Said is replaced with asked. We have practiced changing this said, replacing this said with asked. Structure of positive sentence. We have just learned that we will keep the structure of a positive sentence. Use of if, whether in the interrogative with helping verbs. When the interrogative sentence starts with a helping verb, we will use if or whether. And when we are converting sentence that starts with WH verb, no conjunction will be used for WH sentences. For interrogative sentences that start with WH word, no conjunction will be used. WH word will be retained. We have just seen that we retained the WH word and no other conjunction was used. So while converting an interrogative sentence into indirect speech, we have learned that we will use either if or whether to join the two speeches. Either if or whether to join the two speeches. Now question arises where to use if and where to use whether. In most of the cases, if and whether can be used interchangeably. Look at this sentence. Any idea whether he is coming? Any idea if he is coming? So in this type of sentence, we can use either whether or if because we can use them interchangeably. Any idea whether he is coming? Any idea if he is coming? It doesn't make any change in the meaning. It doesn't make any difference. But in certain situation, we have to use if, and in certain other situations, we have to use whether. We can't use them interchangeably. Look at the example. If you work hard, you will succeed. See, if you work hard, action B is dependent on action A. These type of sentences are called conditional sentences. You have learned conditional sentences in your class 9th. So if there is a situation of a conditional sentence, there are two clauses and one action is dependent on the other, we won't use whether here. If is used in case of condition. Look at the second type of sentences. I'm coming, whether you like it or not. See, the sentence says I'm coming, whether you like it or not. Regardless of your liking or disliking, I'm coming. The sentence conveys the meaning that regardless of your liking or disliking, I'm coming. I'm coming whether you like it or not. In such type of cases, we use whether. Whether is used where there are alternatives or to mean regardless. If two alternatives are given, whether he is coming or not, then we will use whether. We can't use if there. If there is no alternative is given, we will use if or whether interchangeably. I hope that you have grasped the concept and you will practice the concepts given in this tutorial and you will convert the sentences given in your book and you will find this tutorial helpful. Students, I will wait for your feedback. If you have any queries, any questions, do write in the comment box. You can ask any question in the comment box. You can also find the solved sentences in the comment box. Thanks for watching. Allah Hafiz.